Today I'm gonna talk about how to use the quadratic formula to solve the quadratic equations. First of all, I'm gonna roughly introduce the quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A doesn't equal 0. Okay, and for this quadratic equation we have three conditions or three scenarios. For the first scenario, if b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, there are two different solutions. Okay. For second scenario, if b squared minus 4ac equals 0, that means there is a repeated solution or one solution. Okay, one solution. If for the third scenario, if b squared minus 4ac less than 0, that means there is no real solution. Okay, so as we can tell, only for the first two scenarios we have solutions. And what is the solution? That is x equals negative b positive negative square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So that is the quadratic formula. Okay, quadratic formula, and only for the first two cases. Okay, for the two cases we have such roots. Now let's take a look at the first example. For the first example, we can tell what is A. A equals 1, B equals negative 6, C equals 3. Okay, now we're gonna follow the procedures. The first thing we want to check how many roots does that quadratic equation have. Okay, so we're gonna check b squared minus 4ac. b squared minus 4ac. We plug in b squared is b is negative 6, and minus 4ac, a is 1, and c is 3, and we can tell that is what? Negative 6 squared means negative 6 times negative 6, positive 36, minus 4 times 1 times 3 is 12. So that equals 24. And we know 24 is greater than 0. That means we have two solutions that satisfy the first scenario, right? First scenario, there are two solutions. Okay, now what is the solution? We're gonna follow the quadratic formula. X equals negative b positive negative b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, divided by 2a, and we can plug in. Okay, we can plug in that b is what? B is negative 6. Okay, and for the square root, b squared minus 4ac, we already calculated it here. B squared minus 4ac equals 24, so we just copy it, divided by 2a. A is 1, so we can simplified, that equals 6 positive negative square root of 24 and divided by 2. Okay, now for the square root 24, we can continue to simplify it because we can use the factoring method. So for 24, we can use the factoring method. For 24, we can write down as 2 times 12. And for the 12, we can times 2 times 6. And for 6, we can factor as 2 times 3 until the prime numbers. Okay, so in the factors, we have a pair of 2. Okay, a pair of 2. That means we can move these 2 out of square roots. Okay, and left 2 times 3 in the square root. Okay, we find a pair of 2 and we move these 2 out of square root. So 6 plus minus, put 1 2 out of the square root. Okay, and the left one is going to be 2 times 3, that is 6 divided by 2. Okay, now in the denominator we have 2, and in the numerator for the 6 we can write down as 2 times 3, and here we have another 2 times square root, right? So that means we can potential cancel 2 for both the numerator and the denominator. So how to cancel it? Here, this 6 we can break 6, down to 2 times 3. So here is 2 times square root of 6. That means we can factor 2. Okay, if we factor 2, the first term is 3 plus minus, and the second term going to be square root of 6. Okay, and then we cancel out, and we're gonna get 3 positive or negative square root of 6. Okay, so we have 2 solutions. One is 3 minus square root of 6. Another one is 3 plus square root of 6. Okay, so that's the solution. Now let's take a look the second example. So we're gonna follow the same strategy. First step, we're gonna write down the ABC. A, B, C. Okay, we have A, B, C. And now we're gonna calculate B squared minus 4AC. B squared minus 4AC, that equals negative 2 squared, plug in B minus 4 times 1 times negative 5, and we can calculate it. So we have 4, negative 4 times 5 is 20, that equals 24. Okay, that is greater than 0. Okay, greater than 0. Now that means we have 2 different solutions because it is satisfy the first scenario. Okay, now we can plug in the formula. X equals negative b square root of b squared minus 4ac Divide by 2a and plug in the b. b is negative 2. So when you plug in the negative number, always put the round bracket, okay? Positive, negative, and we can tell b squared minus 4ac is 24. Okay, and a is 2 times 1. And again, square root of 24, we can simplify it. How to simplify it? We can use the factoring method. Okay, we can use factoring method to factor 24 until prime numbers. If we find a pair of factors, then we can move this factor out of square root and then let the left ones times together. So here 24, we already did it before, so we just copy it. 24 equals 2 times square root of 6. So we can write down 2 positive 2 times square root of 6. Okay. Now we can see here for the numerator and the denominator, we both have 2, right? We both have 2. So that means we can simplify it. So x, for the denominator, we can factor the 2, 1 positive negative square root of 6 divided by 2, okay, and then cancel out, and we're gonna get 1 positive negative square root of 6. We have two solutions. One is 1 minus square root of 6. Another one is 1 plus square root of 6. Okay. Now let's take a look at the third example. Again, we're gonna follow the strategy or follow the steps. Write down the A, B, C, and the b squared minus 4ac equals b equals negative 4 minus 4 times 1 times 4, and the negative 4 squared gonna be 16, and negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. That equals 0. So that means it satisfies the second scenario. We have only one solution. Okay, one solution. Now we're gonna plug it in. X equals negative b plus or negative b squared minus 4ac to a, and b is what? Is negative 2 or negative 4, sorry. And square root of b squared minus 4ac, that is 0, divided by 2 times a is 2, and we can simplify it. Here negative negative is 4 plus or minus 0, square root of 0 is 0, so it itself we're gonna get 2. So the solution for this quadratic equation is 2. Now let's take a look at the last example. For the last example, we're gonna follow the same procedures. A equals 3, b equals negative 1, c equals 1. Okay, and then we're gonna calculate b squared minus 4ac. And we're gonna plug in a is 3, c is 1, and negative 1 squared gonna be negative 1 times negative 1 is positive, and minus 12, that guy will boils down to negative 11. So negative 11 less than 0. So that means it satisfies the third scenario. That means we have no solution for this case. That's it.